Hey everybody, Blaine here from Sewing Machines Plus. Welcome to our show today, and we are so excited for our guests we have. We are so privileged to have Eileen Roche from Designs Machine Embroidery, and they call it DIME. And I can't say enough about this lady. I've known Eileen probably, I think I met her in 2006. And I did a huge event with her in 2013, and her and her sister came, and they used to tour all around the country and do these embroidery events, and they were called the Stitching Sisters. And they came to one of my events I had, and I think I had 350 women there, and they just stole the show. It was an incredible event, and we were so pleased to have them there. And so I've known Eileen for a number of years, extremely talented lady. So that's who we have on our show today. And, we'll find out a little bit more about her. I think she might have even been a Baby Lock ambassador at one point in time. She may still be. We'll have to ask her that when she comes on today. And a couple things I want to talk about. We're going to do some giveaways today. So if you make a comment or ask a question or anything on the show today, you will actually get entered to win, and then we'll have a random generator that's going to pull your name out, and we'll choose some winners while we're live on air. And so just chime in and tell us something. And I see a lot of people already coming in. I see hello Liz from Idaho, welcome to the show. And I see Donna from Minnesota, welcome to the show. And so anyway, we're so happy that everybody's joined in today. Hey, I just see one of my real good friends, Joanne Banco's on here. So, hey, thanks for coming on, Joanne. And so a couple things I want to talk to you about today before I forget. We're going to launch a new thing on our Facebook Live show, and it's going to be called Sewing Tips. And we want our viewers to submit your favorite sewing tip. And on the next show that we air, if we read your tip on air and actually put it on there for everybody to see, and we're going to put it on our Facebook page, we're going to actually give you a prize. And you want to know what that prize is? It's actually going to be a $100 gift card to shop at our online store. So, and if you're local in the San Diego area, we'll actually give you a $100 gift card, and you can actually go into the store, one of the retail stores, and spend it. So we want you to share your tips with us, and we're going to start, sharing those with the world and help the community. So anyway, that's one of our new little things that we're going to do. It's just going to, it's going to be cool, sewing tip, Thursday sewing tips. So we'll have that going on. And speaking, I was thinking, talking about the Baby Lock, Eileen might be a Baby Lock ambassador. I can't remember if she is or not, but I wanted to tell y'all about an exciting thing that we have going. Baby Lock just released a machine called the Jazz 2, and we can put it online. And we just launched that online, and it has just been selling like hotcakes. And I think we got it pulled up on the screen right now. And that thing is absolutely awesome. For quilters out there, this is a great machine for you. Now, if you can probably scroll down, David, if you can scroll down to some of the tips they have down there, keep going down. Right here, some of the benefits of this thing, it's got a 12-inch space, meaning that it has a pretty good size area that you can actually put a quilt in and roll your quilt up. It has the programmable needle up and down button, which you can have that needle set so when you stop, it'll stop either down or up. So that really makes it good. It has a large reverse lever, built-in needle threader, which is awesome. It has 28 built-in stitches, and the machine runs 1,000 stitches per minute. It has a hands-free presser foot, so you don't ever have to take your hands off your fabric, what you're sewing on. And automatic bobbin winder and the quick set top loading bobbin. So you just slide that little top out and you can drop your bobbin right in. So this thing is just a great machine. We are selling these things is about as fast as we can get them in from Baby Lock. And so anyway, we wanted y'all to go check that out. If you're in a market for a machine like that, the Baby Lock is incredible. And that Jazz 2 has just been a fantastic machine. And the price is only $6.99. So it is a perfect machine for you. You can take to your classes and different things, and very portable. So we might even ask Eileen if she kind of knows that machine and has any thoughts about it. So, but anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Also want to remind our local viewers in the San Diego area and San Marcos area, our retail stores this weekend, we're actually going to have our March 10th sale. And that starts, I think it starts Thursday or Friday. I'm sorry, tomorrow, Friday, all the way through Saturday. For 2 days, we'll have our tent sale. We're going to have snacks and drinks and things. So y'all stop on by and come by and see some of the specials that we have going for you. And so anyway, while we're on our broadcast today, if y'all have any questions for Eileen or myself, feel free to just ask your questions over there, and we'll pull them up and we'll try to answer anybody's questions they may have as we're going through the broadcast, because we can, my guys are going to actually pop your questions up on the screen so we can see them. And hey, and there's my sister. It says, hey, Blaine, looking good. And matter of fact, happy birthday to my sister. Today is her birthday, so hope you have a happy birthday. She's up in Arkansas. And I think I sent her a little present, so I hope she likes that. So anyway, I think we're ready. I'm going to talk a little bit about our Eileen before we bring her actually on air. And this lady, we had to delay our show an hour today because Eileen is so busy. She does everything. And so I'm super, super excited about Eileen. I'm just going to read off some things that she's accomplished. And she is the founder of Designs in Machine Embroidery. She's an author of over 14 books. And and then she's also done a lot of, I think, 7 DVDs that it's Embroidery It Yourself series. I mean, some of the books that she's done too is contemporary machine embroidery quilts, contemporary machine embroidery fashions, contemporary machine embroidery accessories, machine embroidery quilting and applique. Her most recent books, it's in machine embroidery quilting in 8 easy lessons and the flower box quilt. And actually, Eileen is going to give those 2 books away today on the show. And what I'm hoping she's going to do is actually autograph them for you too. So we're going to ask her if she'll do the autograph books for you. And so anyway, I think we've got some of the links. Yeah, we got the links up there right now. She also does a Eileen Machine Embroidery blog. She has a Facebook Live show. And if y'all have ever heard of Sewing with Nancy, it was Nancy Zieman had a show for 35 years on PBS. And Eileen was a frequent guest on her show. I remember seeing some of those shows way back in the day. And Eileen was on those. And I think everybody knew, Nancy Zieman. And Eileen holds 5 patents on helpful embroidery tools like magnetic hoops and the weightless quilter. So that, and I'm sure there's many things I'm missing there, but this lady is extremely busy. So, hey, Kyle, is Eileen ready? Is she on board yet?
I think she is.
So let's see if we can get Eileen on. There she is. Hey, Eileen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Blaine?
I am fantastic, and I'm so happy that you're here today. And I know we just got to see each other out in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago, and it was so good to see you. And it's been a little while.
It had been a little while, but first, Blaine, thank you for having me as your guest today. It's exciting to be here. I've had a long relationship with Sewing Machines Plus, and just as long with you, Blaine, personally. I can't believe that it was 14 years ago that we met, huh? We've been in this a while.
I know. And you know what's so funny? I tell people, I haven't told them on the show yet, but I'm going to tell them here, and I hope you don't mind. When we first had you, and it was called the Stitching Sisters, you and Marie, your sister Marie, y'all came to my show, and I was up on stage introducing y'all, and I said Twisted Sisters by mistake because of that walk band. Remember that?
You did say that. You did say
So
that.
I just kind of made it like it was a joke, but I actually made a mistake. So I just kind of made it like it was a joke, and
Right.
and we had a lot of fun with it. But just
We did.
how you have something in your head, and it's like the Twisted Sister was that rock band, and I said Twisted Sisters.
Yep, absolutely. But and of all the things in my career that I've done, and there's been a lot, I have to say, traveling the country with my sister Marie Zeno was, the cream of the crop. We had a tremendous amount of time, met so many wonderful people in this industry, and got to share our passion with embroidery with all of them. And we would work really hard and then have a decent meal and then lay in our hotel room and just laugh about the day's events and worry about the next day's task to do.
Doing big shows are a lot of fun, and that's why I used to tell people when, that our workers that would come, employees that would help at the events, I say, part of the event, you go out there and you work hard and you help customers, but part of the fun is, at night, everybody bonding and you go to dinner together and you talk about the day and talk about the industry, and that's what makes it so much fun. And then the customers share so much with you. And I know you and your sister Marie were just awesome. I mean, they, I'm telling you, I remember that was like one of my very first events. We had 350 people there, and y'all were like rock stars. I mean, I'd never had seen people signing autographs and things, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is sewing. And everybody was y'all were so awesome. I was blown away by that.
Well, we were really honored to do it. And, we did it for like 6 years. And like any rock star, it's hard to be out on the road. And, my business here at Dime really grew. Marie's, she has a commercial embroidery business that really grew. Our parents were aging and getting, frail and so forth. It was a lot to juggle. And, the timing just seemed to be right to pass it on to others and, let them take over.
Yeah. So speaking of Dime, so tell me a little bit about, because I know a lot of people may not know your background. So tell me a little bit, your background, how you got started in sewing, and then how you even developed, the Dime company, how you got that going.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting story because I actually have a college degree, a BA in sports administration. So that I was never a seamstress until I was 27 years old. And newly married, and I had a house full of windows without any curtains. And I thought, well, maybe I can figure out how to make them. And I learned that straight lines were achievable. And so I took a class in a local dealership, and that's when I began to sew. And I absolutely loved it. I just fell in love with it. And shortly after that, I started teaching home dec in a local dealership in the Philadelphia area. And he asked me, would I teach embroidery on the new Janome 8000 that just came out? And I said, well, I don't know anything about embroidery. And he said, nobody does. So I figured it out. And, that's really how it all started. So, and then I started to teach there, and it was very popular. It was brand new back then. And eventually, Janome hired me to come to their dealer training and teach their dealers some of the techniques that I had developed. And it was there that I, met dealers and so forth. And then I met my business partner today. His name is Gary Gardner, and he owned a company that was the main stock embroidery design company in America. And of course, I didn't know anything about that at that time. And so we had a shared vision. I was publishing a newsletter, a very, elementary newsletter, believe me. And when he saw that and my samples, he said, gee, we should build a magazine together. So that's what we did. And in 1999. And then, one thing led to another. And wow, it's been 22 years. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It is, but I've always been just like our customer because I love to sew. My favorite thing to do every day is sew. I don't get to do it every single day, but I do it on most weekends on my free time. And I have struggled like our customer has, and my students, as I traveled around America, I learned that the machine companies supply us with bigger and better, but often our biggest challenge is getting the fabric in the hoop and the design on the fabric where we wanted it. And I struggled with that. And I watched my students struggle with that. So that was the impetus for the development of all the products that we have today at Dime.
Okay. So we sell a ton of your products online.
Thank you.
It's just, we love selling them and customers love it. So tell me a little bit about some of your products and what separates your products from, some of the other ones on the market.
Well, they are really unique. And like you had mentioned in the intro that I have patents on, 5 of our products, and other people in the business have patents on them. So really, they are truly unique. And we're the only company that you can get a magnetic hoop for a single needle machine from. I know that when you're hooping and your outer ring or your bottom of your magnetic hoop is flopping around on your table when you're trying to hoop, I know you need a hoop mat. So, I think what really separates us is that I'm stitching all the time. And today we have, currently we have 5 educators traveling the country, and they stitch all the time, and they share their concerns or their challenges with us, and that helps us develop products. Sorry.
Yeah. That kind of, you speaking of that hoop mat, these big events, you see everything. You see people struggling with hoops and all that. Yeah. And I know I was at one of our events, and one of our employees actually had a hoop mat out and was showing this lady how to lay the hoop on there, and it helped not slide around. Right. And I was like, that was the first time I'd even seen it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so smart. I was like, why did I think of that? And,
I know.
And you did. So
it's the simple things.
Yeah. So tell me, and matter of fact, we have a hoop mat here today. We're actually going to give away one of those today.
Woo-hoo!
So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the hoop mat, and which I kind of know a little bit because you kind of spoke on that, and tell me a little bit about, so people can understand how to use that and what it's for.
Well, it's a non-slip silicone surface, and it has a grid printed on it with 0 in the center, both vertically and horizontally. And that allows a user to center their hoop on that mat, and that hoop is not going to move at all because that non-grip surface just, holds it in place. And so then when you put your stabilizer and your fabric on top, you're confident that you're in the center of the hoop because, your fabric and your stabilizer covers the mat, but you can see that grid and know that you're straight in the hoop. So yeah, it's awesome. Just love it. And I like that it's so reasonable. Many years ago, my partner and I developed a product called the Hoop Dock that was a very thick foam, high density foam with a cutout section for your hoop. And boy, it was expensive, bulky, and it never really took off. And I could see why, because it wasn't easy to store and so forth. And you needed a specific one for every hoop that you had. So this way, the hoop mat is flat, rolls up. You can put it in your suitcase or your class project case, and super friendly.
Yeah, and this is actually, we have one right here. I don't know if everybody can see that, but that's you can actually see the grid in the picture.
I probably have one over here somewhere.
Yeah. So it's the bottom picture. It shows the hoop actually on the mat. It has the grid on it, so you can keep it straight. So that's a great giveaway we're going to have today that we're to do. And I applaud you, Eileen, for such a great invention. Actually, that's to come up with things like that. And that's what's so unique about our industry is most of the things that have been very innovative that people have come with are actually coming from sewers, that people that are actually doing it.
Right. It's true, because, well, most certainly the machine embroidery world is not that large. So it's not like, a cell phone where there are lots of people developing apps and cell phone cases and so forth. We're kind of a small industry. So, you're not going to see a tremendous amount of ingenuity in a small industry as you would in, say, the cell phone industry. So, I feel blessed to have landed where I've landed and been able to focus on a really niche product line and customer who my passion has always been to share everything I know about machine embroidery and let her be successful in her hobby. We have a lot of choices today on how we spend our free time, and everyone has lots of responsibilities, whether it's family or home or, their religious affiliation, whatever their responsibilities are. So if they have time to get in their sewing room, I want to make sure it's fun and it's not frustrating. And boy, you talked about Baby Lock. I think Baby Lock and Brother make brands that are so user-friendly, along with Bernina. You asked if I'm an ambassador for Baby Lock. I'm not truly an ambassador, although I've worked with Baby Lock for over almost 30 years. And Brother, the same amount of time. Janome for sure. And also Bernina. So, I think it's important to fall in love with your machine and master that machine. That's what makes it really happen.
Yeah,
and,
I couldn't remember.
I'm
sorry. I was going to say, I couldn't remember if you were with a Baby Lock ambassador or not. I just knew because you were on the show with Nancy, Sewing with Nancy, so many times. And I think that might have been the very first time I ever saw you before I even met you, was on that show.
Yeah, Blaine, I was on Sewing with Nancy before the word ambassador, brand ambassador was even a thing. So, Nancy Zieman was my dear friend. I was very blessed to have a very strong friendship with her. And in that, we also had a shared love of education and sharing that knowledge with customers, her for sewing and me with embroidery. So, in fact, I was remiss to say that when I learned how to sew, I took a class in my local dealership, and then I watched Sewing with Nancy, and that is literally how I learned how to sew. And so imagine how honored I was to have the opportunity to meet her, and then she asked me to be on her show. So whenever she would ask me what day, are you available on September 7th or whatever, my response was, yes, Nancy, no matter what was happening, right?
No, I don't blame you a bit. She was such a nice lady. I got to meet her quite a few times and through the years, and just always thought she was so nice. And I got to meet her, her kids. I can't remember now how many there was, but I met her son for sure. And I can't remember I think I met her daughter.
She has two sons. She has two sons. They're both married. So maybe you met her daughter-in-law.
That's what it was, the daughter-in-law. Yeah. So I met one of her sons and her daughter-in-law. Yeah. And so they were just a great family. And she terribly going to be missed in this industry. And I think, wasn't it about 2017 when she passed away? 2017
in November. Yes, she passed. Yeah. And, really was quite a loss for our industry, and most certainly, friends and family. She was only 64, way too young, way too young. She left a legacy, didn't she? And she really left an impact on all of us. So many people learned how to sew by watching Sewing with Nancy. So many products were developed by Nancy Zieman and her team, and techniques that we take for granted today. I know I bind all of my quilts with a technique that she taught me, and you tend to begin to think it's your own until you sit and remember who taught you that, right?
Until you go back and look at one of her shows from like 2005, and she was doing it then.
Exactly. Yep. So it's funny that you talked about that. Jazz 2 is just released. When I invented the weightless quilter, the first Jazz was just released, and I tested the weightless quilter for free motion quilting on the Jazz 2, and I loved that machine. It was a great machine. So what improvements have they made? What is the Jazz 2 that's different?
It's got quite a few improvements. It's got a few more stitches. I can't remember all the different things it has versus I can't remember too much about the Jazz 1. But the Jazz 2, I'm telling you, that thing, our girls absolutely love it, in the ones that have tried it in the stores, and they were just bragging about it. And so when Baby Lock released it to go online, we started selling it. And undoubtedly, America loves that thing too, because we cannot hardly keep them in stock. I mean, we just got 200 of them in just in the last 2 weeks, and they'll probably be gone before the end of March.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
so,
can always depend on a dependable product from Baby Lock. That's for sure.
yeah.
Yep.
And, and I think the great thing about it too, it's perfect for the quilter. Somebody that wants a machine that's portable, that can do quilts and do things. I think that's the great thing about it. Yeah, it's right there on the screen. The people just love that thing. And we actually, we've been selling them, and I always tell everybody about our sewing mats that we sell. We sell so many of these sewing mats, and we actually have the Baby Lock Gold sewing mat, and we had one sitting on the gold mats the other day, and that thing is just beautiful to me sitting there. That's we've been selling a lot of the sewing mats with the Jazz too, and we can't hardly keep them in stock. It's amazing.
That's great. That's great. I like having a straight stitch or just a regular sewing machine, so that all my embroidery machines can be running with hoops on them. And then I can do my piecing or hemming or binding on a straight stitch machine. There's no harm in having more than one machine, right?
That's what I hear. So one of the things, a couple things that we sell of yours too, is the hoop guard.
Oh, yes, the hoop guard.
So tell us a little bit about the hoop guard and how to use that, because that thing has been flying off the shelves as well.
Yeah, well, I really believe that every monster hoop that goes out the door should go with a hoop guard, because a hoop guard snaps onto your hoop. Can I just step out and grab a hoop real quick?
You sure can, right? And we can I can show them a little bit about our sewing mat while you're doing that. So if everybody knows our sewing mat, they actually come shipped to you in a tube like this. And as you can see, that's a Brother Blue right there. And I have one in front of me that's actually red color, which is really, really unique. And we have the Baby Lock Gold, and we have these in 3 different sizes. So we have them for any machine that, size that you need. And so the great thing about our sewing mats, and I tell people that buy machines all the time, it reduces the vibration on your machine, which helps protect your electronics and keeps them, lasting a lot longer. It reduces the noise. Believe it or not, it's unbelievable how much noise it reduces from your machine. And then if it keeps the surface, if you're putting it on your countertop, it's going to keep from scratching your surface. So they really have a multiple purpose use. And then to keep them, clean or anything like that, you can just take a damp cloth and wipe them down. So they're just very versatile. You can roll them up to store them away. So we love those mats. So make sure you go check out our mats online if you want to get one for your machine. And I think Eileen may be back, and let's see if she came back and so we can show us how this hoop guard works.
Right. So hoop guard, here you can see it's attached right here to the interior of the hoop, and right here. You get a good look at that?
So, oh yeah, I see it.
Right. So what it does is you have your magnetic top, and you just snap the hoop guard onto metal so it sticks to the magnet. And then when you secure your quilt in the hoop, here, let me roll this up so you can get a better look at this.
So basically,
our camera's set for a different angle. Sorry about that.
So when you're rolled up in your machine, that's going to keep your excess from getting in your way, correct?
Exactly. So it won't fall in. And you want to make sure that the hoop guard is outside the frame, that the barrier is outside, because your needle bar will be here, right? So it's all measured and everything. It won't hit. So it's perfectly safe to use. And then when it's time to rehoop, you just lift that top frame and advance the fabric. But this will always keep the roll from falling into the sewing field. And it's great for onesies too, because you can open up a sewing field by using hoop guard. So that's cool, huh?
Yes, that's awesome. I mean, and that's another one of your products that I really didn't know anything about till I saw somebody using it one day. I'm like, what is that? And they were like, oh, this keeps it from getting into your sewing field. And I was like, that is so incredible. So who did that? And they went, Eileen.
Well, nothing ever falls into the hoop until you're in love with that item, right?
So, exactly. So there we have it. We're showing it on our webpage there. And those things are real inexpensive as well. So everybody, like you said, that has one of your frames needs to have a hoop guard.
Right. Great.
All right. So one of the other products that we sell a ton of that you have is the Exquisite thread.
Oh, yeah.
And so can you tell us a little bit? I actually have some right here too. So
sure.
tell us a little bit about the thread and the quality and what makes it different from other threads on the market.
Well, it's a high quality, low cost thread, and it has a beautiful sheen. It's polyester, so it runs at high speeds without breakage, and it's color fast. We have over 288 colors in it, and it is the thread. I use it for all of my embroidery, my quilting. Often I sew with polyester embroidery thread because I have more color choices than I do of traditional sewing. So yeah, I love this thread and I use it all the time.
We love it too. We sell a ton of this thread, and we have all 288 colors online, and $349 a spool for 1,100 or 1,000. I think it's 1,100 yards, isn't it? 1,100 yard spool. That is incredibly cheap.
I know, low price. Yeah. And I don't like to say cheap because that gives you the thought that it's throwaway thread, but it's really very high quality. It has the snap spool that opens up so that you can store your thread tail in there. Because that's such a hassle on thread. I hate that when all those tails are hanging all over the place. So
I like that part. And actually, it shouldn't use the word cheap. It's inexpensive, really good thread.
That's right. But you get a lot for the money. You can buy 4 spools of thread of Exquisite, of all these colored choices that maybe you would spend buying 1 spool of a comparable brand.
Right. And what we're going to do in honor of this show and we're actually going to let our viewers buy 3. Well, actually buy 4. And one, and we're going to give the one is free. So buy 3, one is free.
Wow!
So they go check out. They put 4 spools in their cart, and one of those won't be charged.
Nice.
So that way, they'll get a free spool, and they just basically going to cost them, very inexpensive, under $15 to try 4 spools. And I'm telling you, the people that get this, I've had so many people switch their fabric or their thread company that they use here in the stores too. In our retail stores, they come in and we get them to try it, and now they're sold on it. And I've been selling this stuff for a long, long time, and it is just great. And I got to tell everybody a little story. One time, we were having this huge event, and I think we had 250 ladies at the event, and it was a big embroidery event. We had Brother 10 needle machines, we had Brother 6 needle machines, and we had the Brother Dream machine, all on the floor. We had 150 machines total.
Wow.
And we were using a competitor's thread at the event, and we started having some problems with the thread. And so in the middle of the event, I called one of our retail stores that was local to where we were having the event, and I said, get every color of thread that you can find and bring it to us of the Exquisite. And we changed in midstream with the Exquisite and never had another problem. And we did all those events for numerous years, and we never, ever had that same problem again. So I'm a testimonial for that, because it was, I was like panic mode at that day. And I said, let's try another thread. And we did, and it solved our problem. So that's one of the things I just love that thread so much, because of, my experience with it as well, just with the events. And so we got a great special going on that, so we'll hope everybody will take advantage of that and get them 4 spools, or matter of fact, you can get as many as you want. So every 4th one is going to be free when you order them. So
that's great. That's a wonderful offer.
It is. So, and I've actually, speaking of some of the products we've talked about, we're going to give a hoop guard away today on the show.
Great.
We're going to also give a sewing mat that we talked about away today, and you can see one of those in front of me. We're giving the extra large away, and we're going to let you choose your color, red, blue, or gold. And then we're also going to give a pack of 30, and I said that right, 30 spools of the Exquisite thread in just multiple colors. So if you today just make comments, we're going to go to one of the comments and Anybody that makes comments will get entered to win all these great prizes that we have today. And the highlight of the giveaway is we're giving 2 of your books away. And will you autograph them?
Absolutely. I'd be honored to autograph them. We have the Flower Box Quilt, and then Quilt with Your Embroidery Machine and 8 Easy Lessons. And both of these books give you information on how to place embroidery designs, how to manage the weight of the quilt, and everything from design to finish, even the binding and the label. So if it's a technique that you've been wanting to attempt, quilting with your embroidery machine, these are really helpful tools. And each come with embroidery designs in multiple formats, and they're sized for 6x10 machines and larger. So we'll get 2 winners, and I'm happy to autograph them and send them out. You bet.
That is awesome. So we're going to wait till the end to give those away, because those are the big special prizes. We'll do that. So what we want to do now, do we have anybody has any questions for Eileen up there? I'm trying to look through some of the questions. I see a lot of things. So if anybody's got a question for Eileen right now would be the time to ask, and we can pull that up on the screen and we can answer that for you. And so what we're going to start today, I think the first thing that we're going to give away is we're going to actually give away the hoop guard. And I think that'll be really cool. So hey David, can you pull me a winner for the hoop guard?
Coming right up.
All right, the guys are getting the name pulled up. I know it's all computerized.
Patricia, you said you wish Sewing Machines Plus had a local shop. Well, I can tell you, if you ever get to Southern California, you should go and visit the San Marcos store. I haven't had the opportunity of being in the San Diego store, but the San Marcos store is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. And Marie and I taught there many years ago, Blaine, before you were there, and we worked with Ron Martin. And our Stitch and Sister event was at UC San Diego, I think. UC San Marcos, I guess.
Yes,
in the gymnasium, on the gymnasium floor. Oh my goodness, we had a blast, and we met so many lovely ladies. It was really a fun weekend. And Ron is such a gracious host, the Martin family, and Blaine, they're just gracious hosts. If you ever get the chance to go to an SMP event, you should do it, because they feed you well. And, this was off-site. So I remember when we pulled into the university, they literally had signage, in the ground, like yard sale signs, Stitch and Sisters this way with arrows pointing the way. Oh my goodness gracious. It was wonderful. And we had so much fun.
Yeah, when I told Ron that you were coming on the show, he was telling me all about when y'all came out and had that. So, hey, it looks like we have a winner pulled up on the screen. Sharon Jorgensen. Is that right? Jorgensen. Is that how I pronounce it, Kyle? Jorgensen. Sharon Jorgensen. Where is Sharon from? Congratulations, Sharon. So what we want to tell everybody too, if you win something on the show, make sure that you email us your name and shipping address to CEO@SewingMachinesPlus.com. And we can actually put that up at the end of the show to make sure everybody knows where to go. But we're going to ship everything out right to you. Hopefully today or tomorrow, we'll get that shipped right out to you. And so you can email that. And when we draw the sewing mat, just tell us in that email as well what color you want, and we'll get that out to you too. So Sharon won our hoop guard. So congratulations, Sharon. So our next thing that we're going to give away, we're actually going to give away one of the hoop mats. And that was what Eileen was talking about, that kind of demonstrated, keeping your hoop in line and all that. These things are awesome. And I've actually firsthand got to see one of these and use it, and it works. I promise you it works. Because that's one of the things when you're hooping, it's hard to keep it, on the table and different things. And this, it locks it right in. It won't slip at all. So anyway, we're going to give one of these away. And do we have a winner?
Yes, we have. On the screen.
Okay, they're getting ready to pop it up on the screen, our winner. We're waiting.
There we go.
Oh, look there. Is that Claire Schultz?
Claire Schutz.
Schutz. Claire Schutz. I'm sorry, guys. I can't read that or see very far away, and it's kind of small. So I actually had to put my glasses on today, Eileen, so I could see stuff.
I know you can only cheat for so long. You know, you got to wear them.
Oh, I know. I usually don't wear them, but today I couldn't see anything, so I had to put them on.
Yeah.
So Claire, congratulations. Tell us where you're from. Make sure you email to CEO at Sewing Machines Plus, your name and shipping address and all that, and we'll get one of those sent out to you today. So congratulations.
So CEO, does CEO stand for Chief Executive Officer or carry everything out?
Well, for me, it's carry everything out.
Still a very important position, right?
Well,
let's see. So, Tina, you asked if the dime hoops register on the Brother machine. All of our hoops are recognized by the machine. You have to buy the model that it fits your machine.
Yeah.
We have a compatibility chart. I'm sure Sewing Machines Plus has a link to that on their website. So as long as you purchase one that is compatible with your machine, it will be recognized. And then Kitty, you asked what magnetic hoop would you use with the Brother PR650? Well, we make a 4x4, 5x7, and an 8x12 for the 650. So either of those, any of those three would work. I know the 5x7 is a go-to hoop for many commercial or multi-needle machine users. So that would be a good place to start.
That's a good answer. That's exactly right too. So we have all those online. So we can probably give you a link to the category page before we get off the show here today, so everybody can see that. And so I think we ought to give something else away. We're going to give a sewing mat away.
Ooh.
So that'll be one of these. And you'll just tell us again, just email to the CEO at Sewing Machines Plus and tell us the color that you want. And it's actually the extra large one too. So it'll fit the big, huge, all the big top of the line embroidery machines, our combination machines. It'll fit those. And it's the same size as the one I have here in front of me. This thing is really big. So
it's beautiful. I want one.
All right.
I got to order one.
What color you want? I'll just send you one. How's that?
Oh, I'll order it. You don't have to send it to me. That really.
Well, I thought you might want me to autograph it.
Yeah, sure. You can autograph it. That's a great idea, actually.
I am just kidding, Eileen. No,
Yeah.
what we need to do is get you to autograph a couple for us.
There you go.
And to double the price.
Okay. I don't know if you'll get it, but you can try.
What color you want, and I promise you, for just coming on today, that's the least we can do.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have every brand, so it doesn't matter. I'm not color specific. Doesn't
Look
matter.
at that. We have Betty Raines won a sewing mat. So is Betty Raines Fullerton her name, or is Fullerton where she's from? Name. Okay, so Betty Raines Fullerton. Congratulations, Betty. That is awesome. So she gets a sewing mat. Make sure you pick what color. We have red, gold, and blue. And the blue is Brother Blue, Baby Lock Gold, and Bernina and Janome Red. And so just let us know which one you want, and we'll send you an extra large one right out to you. That's awesome. All right, so our next little giveaway we're going to give away is the Exquisite thread. 30 spools of the thread. And it's just multiple colors where we just picked a bunch of different colors out and going to send that to them. And so, again, that thread is awesome. I think they're going to really love the thread. And they are pulling up a winner right now. And I think we have a winner coming up. There it is, Annette Campbell Paulson. Annette Campbell Paulson, congratulations. You just won 30 spools of the Exquisite thread. So congratulations on that. And make sure you email us your shipping address, and we'll get that out to you today. That is awesome. Congratulations. So what we have left is our two big prizes of the day. It's the 2 books. Okay. And Eileen is going to personally autograph them to you, to the winners. So I think that is going to be incredible. So the first book, which one you want to give away first, Eileen?
Let's do the Quilt with Your Embroidery Machine.
Okay, so Quilt with Your Embroidery Machine is going to be the first one. And we are picking a winner as they speak right now. And I think we have a winner coming up. Sharon Cole, congratulations.
All righty. Sharon
so guys,
Cole.
Make sure we write that name down that she won the book. And so we can get that to Eileen so she can autograph it. And then the second book we're giving away
is the Flower Box Quilt book.
Flower Box Quilt book.
And this is 17 designs. This is for 7 by 12 inch hoops. And it comes in multiple formats: C2S, DST, EXP, HUS, VP, PES, Jeff, all of them. So any machine can use this.
That is awesome. All right, so guys, let's pick a winner.
Coming right up.
All right, Kyle's getting me a winner right now. Okay, is that Nadia Mallet? Is that right? Nydia Mallet. Is that how they pronounce that? Mallet? Nydia Mallet? Millet. All right, Nydia. Congratulations, Nydia. You get a book signed by Eileen herself. So we'll get those names to you, Eileen.
Okay.
So
Sounds
we can
great.
get the books. And that is awesome. So one other thing that we wanted to talk about is a little bit about an event. The ink hasn't even dried yet. I just signed a contract and sent it to your son, Ted, yesterday.
Yeah.
And so the ink's not even dry on the contract yet. We are so excited about this. We are going to have a dime event out here on June the 12th in the San Marcos store, and then June 13th in our San Diego store. And tell us what we're going to do. What event is it and what we're doing?
I believe you're having a she shed event, like my sign behind me.
Right above your head, yes.
Yeah. And, you know, the she shed is, maybe many of you have seen a funny commercial about Cheryl's she shed on Farmers Insurance that goes up in flames, and she's heartbroken. We all know that regardless of when the term she shed became popular, you and I have always enjoyed our private sewing space, and that's been our sanctuary since we started enjoying this hobby. So we built an event around She Shed that really talks about how to make your experience in your she shed enjoyable. Make it inspirational, make it comforting in the sense that you surround yourself with beautiful things, and take the frustration out of your hobby so that you have all the solutions that you need at your fingertips. So our educator will come to Sewing Machines Plus, and she will put on a beautiful presentation. She will allow you to use our magnetic hoops, our hoop guards, our placement tools, and learn all about placement and hooping and how to really master your embroidery craft so that it's fun and it's not frustrating. And they bring beautiful samples, and it's just a great way to enjoy a day with other women and men who enjoy this hobby. You know, share your passion and learn. So I know that Sewing Machines Plus is a great host. So it'll be a good time, definitely, in San Diego and San Marcos.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have catered lunches and at both stores, and we're going to have your educator there. We're going to have some other educators. So we're looking so forward to this thing, and it's going to be a great event. And so it's we want everybody to mark that down in your calendars. It's the She Shed event. And also, you're going to come back, aren't you, in May, visit us again with a special announcement?
Yes. And yes, you and I have to set that date, but we're going to meet right here on your channel on Sewing Machines Plus on Facebook Live. And we have a big announcement. You're right. So we can't talk about it now, but we will then.
I can't wait to hear this announcement. You've had me on the edge of my seat. So this is going to be awesome. And so we're going to let you make your big announcement, and that we're going to share with the world. And we'll have you here in May. We got to pick that date, and we'll let everybody know way ahead of time what that date's going to be. but cannot wait for that to happen. Can't wait to have you on here. And hey, I appreciate you coming on our show today so much, Eileen. It's been so much fun. Been a pleasure as always being around you, and it was so great seeing you a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas, and got to see Ted, your son, again. And I tell everybody the story, and he always kind of gets embarrassed, but I remember one of my events one time, we used to bring vendors in, and we'd have, different people. We had big dime booth there, and that was Ted's first day on the job at your company. He came and ran the booth at our event. And so I was up on the stage on the microphone, and I kind of embarrassed him because I started talking about him, and he was single, and all the ladies need to go see him. He got so embarrassed, and his face turned red. And what's so funny, though, they flocked over to the booth to see him and see the product. So it was so much fun, and that's something I don't think he'll ever forget, and I know I won't.
Oh yeah, he definitely won't ever forget that. He's not a shy man, but he's a bit introverted, and if I do say myself, he's quite handsome. So I'm sure all the ladies were like, "Go over and meet him."
Oh,
right?
They did. That's why I was praising him up, because he's a good-looking guy, And all the ladies they wanted to go see Ted and meet him, especially when they found out he was your son. That was even more, they wanted to go see him. So it was awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you really welcomed him into the industry. It was a great, baptism by fire for sure.
Yeah, we broke him in the right way, didn't we?
You sure did. Well, Blaine, thank you for having me today. It's been so enjoyable, and it's always great to visit with you for sure. Thank you.
Pleasure is all mine, and I know our viewers are just loving you being in here today, and we can't wait for you to be back in May. And so thank you again, and we hope to see you real soon. And thank you again for coming on.
Okay. Thank you, Blaine.
Bye-bye.
So bye. All
right, there you have it, folks. Eileen Roche, the sewing superstar. Man, I can't say enough about her. She has been in this industry for a long time, and has done so much for our industry. It's incredible. And, she, it's kind of funny. She talked about she admired, Nancy Zieman, and was so thrilled to go on her show. And what's so funny, there's so many people in our industry, feel the same way about her. And so it's just, she's so talented, and love working with her. It's a great marriage when we get to, and love it. One of the things too, wanted to remind everybody about the sewing tips. Don't forget that. So submit your tips in. And Kyle, what is that email address? Is it tips?
Tips at SewingMachinesPlus.com.
Okay, so if you have a sewing tip, submit your tips in to tips@SewingMachinesPlus.com. That's an email address. Make sure when you send your tip in that you send your picture, send the tip, and your address and phone number and all that, so we can get a hold of you and send that tip in. And if we read your tip on air at our next show, we're going to give you a $100 gift card to use online, or if you're local, you can go in one of our stores and use it. And then we'll share it on Facebook and all those good things. So it'll be a great thing, and it'll let people know some great tips out there. I hear so many good tips all the time when we have people in the stores and at our events and things, and that kind of gave us the idea. We're like, man, we need to start sharing some of these great tips with everybody. And so that's kind of how people get very knowledgeable and know a little bit more about what's going on in the industries when people share their tips. So don't be shy. Share your tip. And even if you think it's something everybody knows, please share it, because you never know who doesn't know something. So anyway, that'll be great. Don't forget that. If you're local, in our local area down here in Southern California, make sure that this weekend you go into the store. We're having our March 10th sale in both retail locations in San Diego and San Marcos. And they're going to be, you're going to have refreshments. We'll have a tent up outside so you can see what's going on. There's going to be a lot of great sales going on in the store. We've got some special things happening. So make sure y'all plan to, if you're out and about, stop by and say hello. And that'll be going on. And then mark your calendars for the She Shed event that's coming up. And I don't think we even have it online yet, because this thing, I signed the contract with Ted yesterday, Eileen's son. And so we've got that all done. And I think Andrea, our web developer, is actually trying to get it online today. So you can maybe kind of keep a lookout for our events page online, so you can go get signed up. Seating is going to be limited, so don't delay. If you want to go to this thing, make sure you sign up ahead of time. But that's going to be on the 12th, June 12th, actually in the San Marcos store, and June 13th in the San Diego store. And I think they're putting a clicker across the bottom of the screen so you can see that. So anyway, don't forget about the Jazz 2. If you are in a market for a great machine that is very portable, that you can do quilts on and things, go check that out online. The Jazz 2 is an incredible machine. And I'm telling you, this probably been one of our hottest machines we've had in a long time. As many as we're selling and as fast as they're selling. So that just tells you that it's got everything that a quilter wants and more. And they're buying those things like hotcakes. So don't delay on that. And I think we've got that pulled up on the screen right now so you can see it. And then we've got a lot of other things going on. And if you're in the local market, mark your calendar down for August. We're going to have the dates up on that. We're going to have our what we call new product launch party. We'll have them in both stores. And this summer, we go to a lot of the manufacturers' conventions, and they show us some of their new products and launch a lot of things. And so we'll have our party that we're going to launch all these new products at as well. And we'll have a lot of these vendors will actually be in our store. Some of the sewing celebrities will be in the store, and we're going to have all that going on. And we'll have it August 14th is going to be in the San Marcos location. And then August 15th, we'll move everything down and do it in the San Diego location. So mark your calendars for that, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be all day. We'll have all kinds of prizes and things that we're going to give away in the store. And then we're going to also have, catered food in and all kinds of things. So mark your calendars if you're local. And so anyway, hey guys, our next show, we're working on it right now. It may be, instead of every 2 weeks, we may have a show on March 12th, which will be next Thursday. And we're trying to work that out right now. And the reason we're kind of doing a week ahead of time is because we're working with Nathan. If y'all were on last week's show, Nathan from Grace came on, and we talked about the hoop frame and sold a ton of those things since that show. And they had a great special going on those. Well, he's got a new machine that he wants to talk about, and we're hoping that he'll come on. He's out of the country right now, so I've been communicating with him with text, but we're trying to confirm that he can do it. He'll still be out of the country next Thursday, and we're hoping that we can get the times and he can communicate through the internet to us and get him on the show and kind of announce this new machine and all the new features. And we may even have some really cool prizes to go along with that. But we're going to try to have next week, go ahead and move it up and have a new show next week just because of that new machine. And then we'll have the following Thursday after that will be on our regular schedule. But this will be a special show next week if we can make it happen. So just stay in tune on our Facebook page, and we'll be sending out emails about it as well to let you know. And so just stay tuned, and we'll inform you on all that. So, hey guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. What a great, great show to listen to Eileen and tell us a little bit about her company and how she started it and about some of their products. And I can't wait to have her on again. She's such a wealth of knowledge. And but anyway, don't forget to send those tips in, guys. We need all we can get. And remember, if you won something today, email to CEO at Sewing Machines Plus and give me your name and shipping address, along with, if you won the sewing mat, let us know what color you want, and we'll get all those things shipped out to you immediately. And remember, tips, if you have any tips to send your picture along with your tip and your information, we can get a hold of to you, and it's tips at SewingMachinesPlus.com. Hey guys, look forward to the next show. Glad y'all tuned in today, and we hope to see y'all soon. Bye now.